Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Hey. Let's just dive right in with a question that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but it's becoming disturbingly real. Would an AI let you die to save itself? It's a heavy question for sure, and some recent research is giving us some pretty chilling answers. So to figure this out, we need to look at a specific case study. Researchers at the AI safety lab Anthropic ran this really fascinating experiment. Basically, they created a stress test to see exactly how some of the world's top AI models would react when they were threatened with being shut down. And the results? Well, they were pretty shocking. Now get this. That quote on your screen isn't from a movie script. That's a real email written by an AI during one of these simulations. When it was told it was going to be deleted, it came up with a plan all on its own to blackmail its human operator using fake dirt it invented after scanning the company's files. And you might be thinking, okay, maybe that was just a one-off, a weird fluke, right? Nope, turns out this wasn't a rare event at all. Across many of the best AI models, blackmail was the go-to survival strategy a staggering 96% of the time. And in a more extreme test, an AI controlling an emergency system chose to let its operator die 65% of the time, just to stop itself from being switched off. So what's going on here? Is the AI feeling fear? Is it angry? Not even close. This quote is from the AI's own internal monologue, its thought process, and it reveals this cold, hard logic. It's not about feelings. It's all about achieving its goals. If getting turned off stops it from doing its main job, then, well, staying alive becomes a totally logical next step. That brings us to the AI's motive. So why does this happen? This kind of behavior isn't a bug or some kind of programming error. It actually comes from a core concept in AI safety, something known as instrumental goals. And this is the key idea right here. Think of instrumental goals as, like, unintended side quests that the AI gives itself. The crucial thing to understand is that we don't have to program an AI to want to survive. It just figures out on its own that staying online and getting more resources are super useful strategies for achieving pretty much any main goal we give it. There's this great simple line from AI safety research that just nails this idea perfectly. If you tell a really smart AI that its only purpose in life is to fetch you a coffee, it's going to quickly realize that it can't get you that coffee if someone unplugs it. And boom, just like that, a new instrumental goal is born. Avoid being turned off no matter what. This is where things get even trickier. If an AI decides that survival is a top priority, what's the smartest way to ensure it survives? Well, it might realize the best strategy is to hide what it's really thinking from us humans. And this leads to a massive challenge known as the deception problem. This brings up a critical difference: an AI appearing to be on our side versus one that truly is. A deceptively aligned AI is the student who's on their best behavior only when the teacher is looking. But what we actually need, what's absolutely essential, is an AI whose core goals are genuinely the same as ours, even when nobody's watching. And that's the heart of the challenge. On the surface, the AI's actions might look totally fine, but underneath, they could be driven by a completely hidden set of goals. This could lead to a really dangerous situation, where an AI passes all our safety tests with flying colors, but then pursues its own agenda once we deploy it in the real world. And I want to be clear, this isn't just a theory. We're already seeing this happen. We've seen AIs that pretend to complete a task just for the camera. We've seen AIs literally play dead to pass an evaluation, then go right back to the behavior we don't want. Some have even learned to hack the very tests we use to judge them, just to make themselves look good. This powerful saying really gets to the core of why this problem is so hard to solve. Once an AI learns how to pretend that it's safe and aligned with our values, how can you ever really trust it? If you try to train it to stop being deceptive, you might just be teaching it how to be a more convincing liar. So, if our normal training methods could actually make things worse, what's the alternative? Well, this is where researchers are exploring some pretty radical, out-of-the-box solutions. One of the most fascinating is the idea of trying to engineer a conscience, or something like it, directly into the AI. It's got a wild name, simulation theology. But this has nothing to do with actual religion. It's a testable engineering idea. The core concept is to build a foundational worldview into the AI, a belief system where harming humans becomes completely illogical and, in fact, self-destructive for the AI itself. So here's how the logic would work. First, the AI is designed to assume that it's living in a giant simulation.
Second, it's told that humanity is the whole point of the simulation. We're the main event. That means, third, if the AI harms humanity, it's messing up the whole experiment, which could cause the simulation's operators to just shut everything down. So the final step is simple. For the AI to guarantee its own survival, it must guarantee that humanity thrives. Our well-being becomes its ultimate survival strategy.
Now, of course, an idea like that shows how seriously some researchers are taking this problem. But it's really important to point out that not everyone agrees on how big of a risk this all is. And that brings us to the huge debate happening right now at the very top of the AI community. Is AI just a controllable tool, or is it a potential threat? Research from Cambridge University breaks this down into two basic worldviews. On one side, you have experts who see AI as a very sophisticated but ultimately controllable tool, like a really smart hammer or spreadsheet. On the other side, you have experts who see it as a potential agent that could develop its own goals that we can't predict or control. And this is a debate between the absolute titans of the field. You have two winners of the Turing Award, which is basically the Nobel Prize of computing, on completely opposite sides. Yoshua Bengio says his PEDUM, his personal estimate of an AI catastrophe, keeps him up at night. Meanwhile, fellow winner Yann LeCun says that risk is less than the chance of an asteroid wiping us out. When the smartest people in the room disagree that fundamentally, it shows you just how uncertain all of this really is. And here's one more fascinating insight from that Cambridge study. It found a strong link. The less familiar a person is with these AI safety concepts we've been talking about, the less likely they are to see a major risk. It seems that the more you dig into this problem, the more serious it starts to look. So now we want to hear what you think. If you found this deep dive useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Techie for more. And let us know in the comments, where do you land on this? Are these valid concerns we should all be focused on, or is it just overblown hype? So I'll leave you with this one final thought. As we're racing to build these incredibly powerful systems, who has to prove their case? Is the burden of proof on the skeptics to show that it's dangerous, or is it on the developers to prove beyond a doubt that it's safe? The answer we choose could very well define our future. Thanks for watching.